Good evening and welcome to Inspire to Achieve Global TV. And this evening you're with me in the Executive Suite. I'm your host, Roxanne St. Clair, and thank you for joining. This evening is a relaxed chat, no real theme as such. It's really just to chat, connect, see how you're doing, and exchange ideas. Because you know, the Executive Suite is a place where you come to release the pressures, to reconnect with your vision and your passion so that you can be recharged to go out and make things happen. And, I like to ask you on a Monday evening, how has your week started? Has it been a day that you've been full of energy, raring to go, and, things are just working how you want them to go? Or has it been one of those days where you're having to sort of prep yourself, where you have to really build up the momentum so that you can get your week started? For some of you, you may be off with the children because it's half term here in the UK. And I saw that whilst traveling today, a lot of families around, pushchairs on the train, children running on the platforms. And, it makes you up to different ideas and makes you realize that, well, things are going on outside of what you're doing yourself. So if you're in business, for example, and your children are off this week, have you taken time out to be with the family, or are you so busy that you do not have the time to spare to really go out and do the activities with the children, or even just stay home and have some quality time together? So this is a place where we connect. So I invite you to comment, like, and share, and let's really see what we're doing. So I'm just really now looking to see, well, who's around, because again, as it's half term and people are busy, I'm just going to invite a few people to come in and join us, see what people are up to today, and get the conversation moving. So let's see who's around. So I'm just going to share this into the group. And so in there and in there. So I've shared there, and likewise, oops, a daisy. Let's see who's around today that they can join us, and we can have this conversation going. So I mentioned about half term, and it brings me on to another side in terms of, if you're, for example, if you're a business owner or you're an entrepreneur working for yourself, how do you pace yourself? Do you take regular holidays, or do you get really swept up in the work that has to be done, and then you get towards the end of the year and realize that you've not taken time out for yourself? Because if you're building your business, for example, sometimes that's where your focus is going, that's where your energy is going, that's where all your funds are going. So what do you do to build in time for yourself, to reconnect, for recuperation, for recreation? Or is it that at the weekends you ensure that you have that downtime? So throughout the year, you're constantly replenishing yourself and therefore not feeling that desperate need to take a holiday and go on a break. I know for myself, I often get to a certain time in the year and realize that I've not taken any great length of time off because I get so involved in what I'm doing that I'm on the go, I'm on the go, I'm on the go. Then I look around and think, oh, you know what? I haven't taken time off or time away. But through some of the things that I'm doing, there's quite a social element to it. So I combine work with the social side of work. So not always feeling that I'm just working, because it's a bit of both. So what about yourself? What do you do? How do you relax? How do you give yourself that time to recharge your batteries and to get energized over a longer period of time rather than just in little snippets? So it'd be useful to share and hear from you what you do and how your time goes. I remember when I was in full-time employment, the attitude of people there was that they had to take their holiday days, and they wanted to make sure, and if anything, they didn't feel that they had enough holiday days. So, how does that work for you? Do you find that your work that you're doing, that you need to have regular and constant breaks, or do you enjoy what you're doing so much that it doesn't feel as though you're working? I know that speaking to a friend some years back, and they were doing what they loved, and they're a musician. And I remember them distinctly saying that it's really strange because they don't feel as though they're a grown up yet because they love what they're doing so much that they don't feel that they're working, they don't feel that they have a job. So, is that the same for you? Or is there something that you could be doing that you would get that feeling? Because, after all, if you're doing what you love, does it really feel like work? Okay, you may have to deal with certain types of people depending on the type of business. So, doing consultancy, doing coaching, unless you're choosing and really cherry picking the clients that you definitely want to work with, the clients that you resonate with, you may find that you have certain characters that you have to deal with, and it may not be fun all the time. And therefore, it does feel like hard work, not just work, but hard work. So, how do you gauge your work? How do you get that work-life balance for yourself so that you're enjoying what you're doing, but even on the days where it's not as much fun as you'd like it to be, you can still feel that it's sustainable. You can still manage. You don't feel as though it's a struggle. What is it that you do? What do you have in place to make sure? Hi, Robert. Thanks for joining. Nice to see you. Now, what do you have in place to ensure that you're doing what you love and it doesn't feel like work or this great big chore, and it's something that you want to get up for when the morning comes? Maybe you can't even stay in bed because you enjoy what you're doing so much that you don't need sunrise to get you up to be working, because ultimately, if you're in that state and you're in that place, then you know that you're more in alignment than not in alignment. So, Robert, in terms of what you do you find that you can't wait? You don't have regular hours to allocate to work because you just enjoy what you do so much that you would do it at any spare moments that you have, or are you quite disciplined and you proportion work time with relaxation, etc.? Oh, interesting. Okay, so you're talking about marketing. So yeah, it's true, because if you have got someone to do the marketing and that works, then you're not doing particular work. So it depends on the type of business and what sort of element you have to put into it. Because okay, I can understand that if your business is automated and you've got someone that's doing the marketing and therefore it's going through a funnel, shall we say, then you're quite hands off from the business. But what about business and those people that are in their business, but they haven't just got an automated system. They have that, that physical contact, that physical interaction with their clients. People in that position, again, how do they enjoy getting up in the morning? How do they enjoy the interaction with their clients? So that was an area I was looking at. I was saying before you joined that a friend of mine some years back, who's a musician, was saying that he doesn't feel like a grown up and he doesn't feel as though he's actually working because he's doing what he loves. So I was, reiterating that for all of us, if we were really doing what we love, would it feel as though we were working? Would we feel that we need to take that time and that longer break away from what we do? Because if you really love it that much, do you want that time away? Because that's what makes you tick, that's what makes you thrive. And I remember some weeks back speaking, a lady that started actually not on the high street, she was saying that with her, even when she's on holiday with her family, for her, meeting somebody on the beach and discussing their business and potentially helping them write a whole business plan, that she feels alive, and she thrives from that. Whereas her husband prefers to, sunbathe on the beach. So again, it's what makes people tick. Why do people do what they do? Okay, that's quite a good discipline to have in terms of, okay, I'll share that one. In terms of forcing yourself awake as soon as you're aware that you're waking up. And do you have a process that you go through once you do that? Fabulous. Right. So again, so you're doing what you enjoy doing, which is wonderful. And I know for myself, there are days when I would say, okay, I want to have a lie-in. But then I wake up anyway, and I'm up and I'm doing things, and my mind's going, and who's that online? Right, somebody's, oh, is that Marcia saying hi? Hi, thanks for joining. So I find that there's days where, okay, I think I'm going to have a lie, but then I wake up and my brain's ticking away with all these ideas that are coming. And again, it's where what you do becomes an integral part of who you are. You tend not to be taking time away. You tend not to be having like long breaks away, or feeling that you need to have those long breaks. Okay, brilliant. So you've got your process. Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that, Robert. So Marcia was actually saying that, do you do what you love and therefore not feel as though you're working? And how do you fit in breaks during the course of the year? Do you need longer breaks so that you can recharge and replenish? Or does what you do give you so much energy that you have to tear yourself away in order to go and, say, have a holiday, for example? So just looking at that, based on it being half term here in the UK at the moment, and seeing families around, seeing some parents with their children, and looking at, well, for business owners, how do you deal with family breaks? How do you deal with making time to have that quality time with your family as they're growing? I know years ago when I first became self-employed, that was one of the things that I wanted. I wanted to be around and have the flexibility to be there with the children. So if I sent them to a holiday scheme, it was because I had chosen to do it and not that I had to do it. And because it was them having interaction with other children who they wouldn't have interacted with otherwise. So it's just a free-flowing conversation today, just discussing holidays, discussing finding balance for yourself. So if you've got questions, you've got things you want to share about what you do, any processes that you may have in place, and so we're just having a very light conversation this evening, Monday evening, beginning of the week. Hi, Sheldon. Thanks for joining. So, what are your things that you do in order to replenish yourself and have that balance and that thing that energizes you, make you feel alive? So that's what we're talking about today. And what's this? Right, so you're saying that you have to tear yourself away, especially to go to bed. Yes, and as you find how funny it is that sometimes you think you're going to have an early night, and then you turn around and before you know it, it's after midnight. And then you keep saying, okay, just a bit longer, just a bit longer. And then it's 2:00, then it's 3:00. And the worst thing is it tends to happen the nights before you have to be up really early the next day. So yes, I've had a few of those myself. And it's getting into that stage where you can just switch off. I can't remember the last time I was actually in bed ready to sleep at 11:00, because my mind is still ticking over, still thinking about things that I could be doing with all the ideas and all the possibilities. So hence the fact I tend to have a trusty pad nearby so that when ideas come, I can jot something down, or worst case scenario, grab my phone and record a message on the phone. So these are some of the little things that I will do so that I don't forget an idea. Right, so Robert, you're saying you had an unexpected but very welcome surprise on Saturday afternoon. Oh, wow. That was lovely. So I'll share that one. So you had a call from Greg, and a few of you who are on the platform, you'll know Greg. And so you're brilliant, Robert. So you're sharing is that your connections are working, and now, as you said, you like to befriend people that you're with on the platforms, people that you support on their shows, and now that it's building up and it's building up and it's building up. But that's really, really nice to hear that you're having that connection. And I know you also broadcast on the platform. So again, people are getting to know more about you, your policies, your philosophy as such. And, this is a great place to actually, for people to become aware of who you are and to get to know you better, and through sharing content, sharing your story, interviews that you do, the people that you bring on board. Again, it's really a good way of building up that momentum and reaching out with people around the globe that you probably wouldn't have met otherwise. So, keep sharing and keep enjoying. It's brilliant. What I did want to do today, I haven't done that for quite a while, as you see the cards behind me, I'm actually going to share one of the cards from The Value in You today. Oh, wow. So the card that I've pulled up today is on peace. And it says that warm, gentle feeling that envelopes you and radiates from within. You have it within you to create your own peace. When you find yourself trying too hard, stop forcing the issue and relax. Now, isn't it the same thing we were talking about for half term and for people finding their own space, rejuvenating themselves? And it is in line with when you're at peace and things can flow. When you're at peace, you can be more of who you are. So having that message come up for us today, maybe this week is about us enjoying our peace. So for those parents that are with their children and spending half term and they may be frantic going up and down, it's that finding those moments of peace and creating that for yourself. And if you have that as, every day as an integral part of your day, the creativity that will then actually, open that space up for your creativity so that you can do more and be more, whether for yourself or within your business. So I'm just going to look at some more. Wow. So Marcia, you're saying you couldn't tell when you last had a break. You need one. So maybe we need to challenge you to actually create and decide when you're going to take a break for yourself. And you see, if you say it here, then we can hold you accountable. So Marcia, right, you can, before the end of the show, let's see if you're going to tell us when you're going to take a break and create that time for yourself, because maybe through taking that break and creating that time, you might actually generate even more ideas of things that you want to do, whether towards the end of the year or to start the new year. So, if you're saying you need a break, then you need to listen to what your body's telling you so that you can create that space and create that time for yourself. And after all, you deserve it, right? So, right, that's lovely to hear, Robert, that people say that you're absolutely at peace. Wow. What more can you ask for? And okay, and Robert has a message for you from Sheldon. So he's saying a great way to build your brand and communicate your message. Well done. Fabulous. Oh, so we've got quite a lot of love in here this evening. This is what I like. It's nice and relaxed. Let's see how we are for time. So, nice and relaxed, and really, the community that we're forming, that getting to know each other, getting to share ideas, getting to support each other. And this is what the Executive Suite is about, really. It is about us connecting, us supporting each other, us sharing. So, Robert, you often come on, you always have great content to share with us. You connect, you support. Marcia, you come on, you share, you connect, you ask great questions. Sheldon, you come in and put in your little ditties and challenge me with your questions and share. And, so we're now starting to sort of see where we can support each other, how we can work with each other. Because realistically, if we each build and support one another, then we all grow. And when we all grow, then we're elevated, because quite honestly, it's lonely at the top. And only yesterday I was having a conversation with somebody about the exact same thing, that it's all, it's good to have your aspirations and want your own success. But if you can share that with other people that are also on their journey, then what you find is that you've got a group of people, and hopefully like-minded people, that are thriving at the same time. So that when you are up there where you want to be, or still on that journey, going up that ladder, you do not feel isolated, because it can be a very lonely place when you're the only person that goes out on a limb to try and achieve what it is you want, to make your goals your reality. And I've seen some people where they're going out, but they want to be the only one. But yet they turn around and then say nobody's supporting them. Whereas in here, the idea is that we support each other so we can all grow, all benefit, and all have fabulous businesses and lives that we love living. Oh, right. So let me see. Told you it's a conversation tonight. Ah, there you go, Sheldon. There's your response from Robert. Exactly, Robert. Many people working together for the same goal or similar goals, and you're not competing, but you're collaborating. Exactly, because everybody's got different skills. So the skill that you may have, I probably haven't got. Likewise, the skill that I have, you may not have. And if we each benefit from skills, or even just that little bit of knowledge, then we can all grow. I could come to you, for example, you say you're the king of peace. I'm called the queen of calm. So with your peace and my calm, we connect. Marcia with her creativity and her ideas, she can connect. Sheldon with his project know-how. So see already we've got a little community forming where we can each tap into one another's skills and help ourselves. It's lovely. Right, so Marcia is saying, so true. I will probably attempt to go to the sauna this week. I used to enjoy going every week, but stopped going some time ago. The thing is, do I get more ideas when I'm relaxed and thoughtful? Exactly. I too have a notepad beside my bed, but it would get kind of soaked in the. Yes, I can see it getting soaked in the sauna. Yeah, probably. But even saying that, maybe that is just your time for quiet. So you imagine I'm going to be in the sauna with you, hypothetically speaking, but imagine you're sitting in your sauna, it's nice and tranquil, you've got the steam or the dry heat, whichever one you have, and you're sitting there just relaxed, your mind's at peace, and you're just being. So that you're not overthinking, you're not thinking about anything, actually, you're just being and relaxed and really at a level. And then when you come out and you sit down and then get your notepad and just let the ideas flow and you just start writing. Because I do say that sometimes when you write, things come out that wouldn't otherwise come out. So just giving yourself that time. And if you did that once a week, can you imagine? And especially if you were saying that was your planning time, that you took yourself off to your sauna, and after you come out, you say, maybe sit for half an hour and just let whatever ideas flow, and you just write or record into a phone, whichever one you prefer, and give yourself that time and that space. Can you imagine what that will do for you? And if you start implementing that now, what will that do for you between now and the end of the year? Do you think you can get some more ideas? Do you think you can maybe get some clarity on some things that you've not quite made a decision on yet? But you're just giving yourself that time, giving yourself the permission to, one, take care of you in the way that you should do, but two, to just be and let things flow through you. Because I think sometimes we get so busy in the doing, I put my hand up to that we don't always just give ourselves that space and that tranquil time to let ideas, let information flow, to release what needs to be released. And maybe there's things that you're thinking about that you don't need to be thinking about, so they can get parked to the side and you just do what you need to do. All right, so Robert is saying that it was Bradley that inspired, if I could read, a finer focus on your purpose. A side effect of you going all out, connecting with and supporting people was the creation of brilliant. Right, excellent. So yeah, exactly. So now you've found out that people are interested in what you have to say, and therefore you can share even more because your wisdom and how you inspire other people, and then you get inspired in return, is a win-win. So fabulous. Thank you for sharing that. Brilliant. So it's really some really nice shares today, really nice information. So just keeping an eye on the time today. So yeah, so today wasn't it really a long session? It was really just to look at this holiday time. What are you doing for yourself to relax? What are you doing to make sure that you stay in balance? what are are you taking time out with the children this week because it's half term? Or are you still going, hammers and tongs because you've got loads to do, but are you remembering to just take that space and that time out for yourself so that you can be recharged? This is the executive suite, the place where we recommend releasing the pressure, recharging and reconnecting so that you can be the best version of yourself and achieve the goals, turn your dreams into reality, and actually enjoy your life. Okay, thanks, Robert. So, this is what this space is about. And I hope this evening that I've been able to inspire you to just remember to take that time for yourself. Give yourself that space and that time so that you can relax, so that you can let your creative juices flow, so that you can really enjoy what you're doing. Because if you're doing stuff that you're not enjoying, why are you doing it? And that is the crux of it, because we're all here for a purpose. Now, that I don't think that purpose is to be miserable. So my parting message to you this evening is to be mindful of what brings you joy. And if you're doing it, keep doing it. But if what you're doing is not bringing you joy, then go back to that space and give yourself some time to think about, where do you get the most joy? And how can you incorporate that and do more of that and less of what doesn't bring you joy? Thank you, Adam. And you just come as I'm wrapping up, but do come back on the replay and see what resonates with you. So, and you're raising awareness for autism, brilliant. So you may want to connect with a few of our broadcasters on the platform who are also raising awareness on autism. So we have Richard Fay, who raising awareness on autism. We have Luke Anthony Walsh, who does talk about autism as well. So you're in a good place. So I just really want to thank you for taking the time out to join me this evening in the Executive Suite, and just keep being awesome. And this week, my request to you, I'm not challenging you this week, my request to you is that you take some time for yourself. Give yourself the treat that you know you deserve. Replenish and relax. And I look forward to hearing about it when you've done it. So Marcia, I'm back on Friday evening at 8 o'clock. So it'd be fun for you to join us and tell us how the sauna went. Hint, hint. So have a fabulous Monday evening. Enjoy the rest of your week. And whatever you do, stay awesome. And it's been a pleasure connecting with you. And see you again on Friday right here at 8 o'clock. Bye for now.